Hi everyone, Robin here. Around when this video come out, I am all the way in South Korea because I'm attending Jamboree. I'm sure I'm having a very fun time here. However, this is something that I am recording before I went away. I decided that I didn't want to leave you guys absent for 3 weeks, so I decided that this is gonna be the full story of my third playthrough for Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I felt like it would be wrong to make you guys watch hours of video content and that would just not be nice. So I decided to make a video pretty much covering everything I did during the playthrough and then usually just give you my thoughts on the whole process afterwards. But before we dive in, please like and subscribe to my channel. I have really appreciated the support I can get during these times. But now, on to the full story of my third playthrough for Pokemon Infinite Fusion. The game began with me typing in my name, my age, and also picking my starter. I went for Charmander, this is my favorite, and then my rival Blue decided to attack me with a fusion Pokemon. Yes, the fusion already starts here in the first battle of the game. By using a Bulbasaur and Squirtle, he fused them together to form a grass water type. But since none of us had stopped yet, it didn't really matter, so we were able to win the fight battle with relative ease. Boom! After a while later, after getting Professor Oak's packet, I got my way to Route 22 to get my first encounters. First of them was a Nidoran I caught and I fused it together with Charmander to form Charade. I also caught myself a Mankey and a Spearow I combined to form Manrow. Later on Route 22, I was able to take on my rival Blue once more. He led with his old new fusion, a Nidoji. I tried using Manrow, however it was too powerful, so I swapped into Sharan, which was able to finish on Nidoji before he sent in his Squirtosaur once more. They were able to do a lot, however Sharan was able to finish off with an Ember, getting us a second win over Blue. After that, I got my way into the forest where I caught myself a Paras, mainly because I wanted to see what happened if I fused a Paras with a Paras. So later on, I caught myself a second one, and I fused them together, and they became a Alpha Paras. I was really excited about that. Oh, it's an Alpha Paras! It looks awesome! Later on in the forest, I also got myself a Pichu, which I felt like would be useful if I fused it with the right Pokemon later. Later on, I got my way to Beauty City, and in the Pokemon Center, I found a guy with a Tyro, which offered me to trade it to me if I give a Mankey. I immediately ran back to Route 22 to get myself a Mankey so I could trade it and get myself a Tyro. I fused Tyro together with Pichu, so they became Tyson. Tyson was Tyro's nickname, and if you have a Pokemon that's a nickname, it will take that nickname. It's just how it goes, alright? Not long later, it was time for my first gym battle against Brock. In Infinite Fusion, you are forced to have equal amount of Pokemon to the gym leader, meaning I need to have 2 Pokemon just like Brock. I decided to go for Manrow and Sharan, mainly because I think I'm the most powerful one. He led with the Geodude and Pidgey Fusion, and it looked like this Pidgey is just gonna punch me in the face. Manrow went for a low kick, which was able to land a crit on the first turn, which I was happy about. However, they were able to outspeed the next turn, failing to Rock Punch and hit me with a Rock Tomb, which got almost to have but then we finished them off with a karate chop. Next up was his techniques, and it has a cute little face. I went for low kick, however they were faster and they were able to knock us out, and then I swung into Sharan and I went for a double kick, however they outsped and hit the Rock Doom, which took us out right away. So we lost the first gym battle. The next video revolved me around training up Tyson in preparation for the gym. So the Geodude Pidgey Fusion is a flying type and not a ground type, that means electric type move will be super effective. And I was thinking if I could keep Manrow healthy enough, maybe it will be able to take out Dignics. So together with Tyson and Manrow, we took on Brock once more. The battle became like last time, with its GOG setting up a rock poly, and I'm going, but this time Tyson went for Thunder Shock. They went for another rock poly, and I Thunder Shocked them again before they hit me with a gun, which is neutral. We were able to finish up with the first Thunder Shock before they sent out Dignics. Knowing this is powerful, I decided to go for a Charm to lower its attack, and they hit me with a body, so they were able to take me quite well. I was able to get a third Charm off, getting them to -6 attack before they finished us off with a Rage. After that, I swapped in the Manrow, and they hit me with a Rock Tomb, and then with a low kick, we got them down to red HP right away. They tried to hit me with a Rage, they barely did a thing. So one more low kick finished up Techniques, giving me my first gym badge. After defeating Brock, I caught myself a Poliwag back on Route 2 since I wanted to use it for a fusion I will eventually get. Next I got myself to Mount Moon where I got myself a Geodude, Zubat, and a Sandshrew, and then I decided to fuse them together to form Polishrew and Geobat. Later on in Mount Moon, I used to rock smash myself into a rock where I found myself a Nosepass, which I caught because I found I could use it for a fusion later on. After a while, I found Team Rocket, which apparently wanted to do triple fusion, and apparently they started to sign this guy to stop me. But dear God, that Grimer and Coughing fusion is just not pleasant.
Yeah, that is just, I have seen this before, but that is just disgusting.
I eventually was able to beat it, watching T-Rocket fail their science project, then fleeing, and then I was allowed to pick a fossil, and I picked a Dome fossil since Kabutops is my favorite of the fossil of Kanto. After that, I got my way to Cerulean City, where I was challenged by Blue once more. And unfortunately, his team was much stronger than mine, so this did not go that well. I was able to take out Blue's Nidootto and his Mantata with the rollout from Polishrew. His Squirtle fell to Manro, and Charan finished off his Abra. However, after that, my team really needed to train, and a while later, Charan got to level 16, so it evolved into Charino. And then 1 level later, it evolved into Charino again. Yeah, sometimes Pokemon Fusion have the same name. A while of training later, Tyson got to level 15, so its Pikachu part evolved. In Pokemon Infinite Fusion, Friendship Evolution is changed to evolving at level 15 instead of having to go through the annoying friendship thing, and that is good. A while later on Route 24, I caught myself a Bellsprout and an Oddish, and I fused them together to form Odd Bell. A while later, I also got myself an Abra, which was really exciting to use in a fusion eventually. The next recording started with me thinking that I may just fuse my Abra with Nosepass, thinking it could be an interesting fusion. So I fused them together and...
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
That was not good. But it did have an amusing nickname though. A pass. You think, I pass. As in, I'll pass up this fusion and do a reverse. This one gave me a fusion named Nocera, which actually looked really good to be honest. Let's go. A while later, I also got my way to Bill's house, where he apparently tried to fuse them together with a Rhydon, and it just did not look good at all. He asked me to help him unfuse himself, and I did help him, but then the Rhydon disappeared. Does that mean that the Rhydon is dead? Oh my. After a while of more training, Nocera actually got to level 16, and it evolved into Nosebra. A while later, it was time to take on Misty, and I went in with Autosprout and Tyson. He led with Jigglypuff, and I went with Tyson first, and immediately hit it with a fake out, trying to flinch it, but then it infatuated me, but since he didn't have a gender, it didn't work. I tried to go for Thunder Shock, however they outsped and Horn Attack knocked us out right away. Oh god, I swapped the Autosprout, which took a massive amount of damage from Horn Attack, before we went to Absorb, which barely did anything. However, after a while of using a bunch of potions and using Absorb, we were able to take out the Jigglypuff, but then they started Audi, which is not weak to grass, so I went to Acid. However, they got us low, so we kept healing ourselves. However, they can use Recover to heal themselves, and it looked like we were able to win with just one more hit. However, they were faster, and they took us out. So we lost to a gym leader on the first try again. After that battle, I realized that I seriously needed to train up my team, so I decided to focus my attention to training up Tyson and Oddsprout since they're the Pokemon with super effective stab against the gym. And eventually, I got Tyson up to level 20, and since its attack was higher than its defense, it evolved into a Pika-Lee.
A Toya!
A Pika-Lee! And after that, it was time to take on Misty once more. And in this year battle, I had a little of a, I don't even think you'd call it strategy, more like just a crazy thought. You see, I decided to make a deal with myself that if I lost once more, I have to say something that I really do not want to say. That will be that I wish Amore shipping is not going to become canon. The reason I did that is because I thought by making myself do something I really don't want to do if I lost would push me forward and make sure that I didn't lose again. And this strategy actually came a long way. She led with Jigglypuff once again, and I went in with Tyson, and I immediately hit him with a fake out, which did a decent alright. Then we hit them with a Thunder Shock, which did a great chunk, and they only hit me with a disarming voice, which did barely anything. We hit them with another Thunder Shock, which were able to take out the third Pokemon without any trouble. Next there was Ulti, and since Electric is not super effective, I went for Double Kick, and then you hit them with a Water Pulse, so one more Double Kick was able to take it out, so I was able to take down Misty, and my strategy worked. Let's go! A while later on Route 6, I decided it was time to use the Moonstone I had in my bag to evolve Sharino into Shark King. Later on I got my way into Digless Tunnel where I did some training, and during that, Mero evolved into a Mankey Spearow fusion, also being one step away from its fully evolved form. After that I got my way onto SSN where a few things happened. One, I ran into the same guy I ran into in Mount Moon, and he offered me more fossils. I was surprised by this since I didn't know this was a thing. And while I was traveling on the boat, Oddsprout evolved into an Oddbell, and then evolved into a Gloomel, but that just did not look good at all. So I decided to reverse it, and it became Balloon, and it looked vastly superior. Also, Polishrew also evolved into a Polyslash, basically just getting its claws, but they kinda look like mittens to me. And then it was also time for another battle against my rival. He didn't turn out to be too much of a problem, and my team was able to take it out without much problems. After helping the captain out, I was also given the Tiempo Cut, which I then later learned that you can actually replace it whenever you want. I didn't know that. After that, I decided to go back to Pewter City, trying to get the fossil machine up and running, and during the way, I decided I was going to capture 2 Beedrills, since I wanted to see what a fusion of those 2 could become. And they turned out to become Mega Beedrill. Nice! Not long after, I took on the third gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. However, Polyslash took out all of his Pokemon with relative ease, getting us the third gym badge on our first try. Let's go! One thing I learned after the gym battle is that in this game, Teleport actually worked like an alternate fly, which I didn't know about, but I was very excited about it. After that, I got my way to Rock Tunnel, and then it became a long journey since I haven't obtained the Flash TM and I didn't know where to obtain it, so it was a long journey through the dark. On the journey, I was able to get myself a Honedge, which was a Pokemon I was really wanted to get, so at least that was good. After getting out of that freaking dark cave that felt like hours, I decided it was time to do some fusions. I decided to try to fuse together Honedge with a Togepi I had from an egg, and it became a baby holding a sword. Feels safe enough for me. I decided to switch training it, and during that process I also took on my rival in the Pokemon Tower. He didn't turn out to be too much of a problem, and during that, my Togepi part evolved already and it became a small little fairy sword. I like it. After that, I also was able to catch myself a Growlithe and Ekans fusion, which I then defused just so I could trade a Growlithe for a Bulbasaur I can get in Cerulean City, since I really wanted to fuse the frog with my frog I already have. After that, I got a couple more eggs from the daycare, and one of them was an Elekid egg, which I decided to try to fuse together with Hitmonlee, since I felt like maybe an Electivire fusion would be more of a useful combination with Hitmonlee because both are physical attackers. After some hatching and trading, eventually I fused together the frogs and they became a Polysaur. I then also decided I was going to try to fuse together Sandslash with Honedge instead, since both of them are powerful physical attacker, so I got Honeslash, and it looks quite good to me. And later on also fused Hitmonlee with Elekid, so it became Hitmonkid. And a while later it evolved into a Hitmonbuzz, giving it some more extra power. And later on, Polysaur evolved into a Polysaur, and using it in a Water Stone, I realized I had the wrong fusion and I wanted the alternate one. So at the anniversary, it became an Ivy Wrath, only one step away from being the Frog Lord. And more power was evading because Manro finally reached its fully evolved form and evolved into Primeape. I decided also to see what the alternate version was like, and then it evolved into a Fearape. and I really thought it looked good, so I decided to stick with this one. After that, I got my way to Celadon City, where I immediately got myself to get Eevee, since I thought it could be useful for fusion later on. And then I had to head into the sewer together with Erica to deal with Team Rocket that was in the sewers, for reasons. It eventually led me to having a battle against Giovanni, and his team was very powerful. However, me using some potion and a lot of revive, it eventually came down to my Hitman boss and his Ryrax, and we was able to finish off with a close combat, but that was way too close for comfort, and I probably should be more careful in the future. And then I decided I'm going to fuse together two Pokemon that together in the fully evolved form had full power. That would be fusing together Togetic with Gyarados. And together Togedos looked powerful, but the face was odd to say the least. But I was sure it was still going to be a different powerhouse. But after a while later, we were eventually able to take down Erica and her grass types. Our Sharking, Fearow, and Nosebrow was able to take it out with relative ease, and we were able to get that win without too much problems. And then, at this point, it was the time I forgot to make a recording with my voice, and it became a little mistake. So, yeah, that was not fun at all. I'm really sorry about that. But now I will tell you exactly what happened, since you don't need to know what I said at that moment to enjoy what I did. The first thing I did was going back to Route 1 to enter the secret garden, because I wanted to get myself a rose for an eventual Gardevoir fusion. I was really looking forward to have one because Gardevoir fusion have been tended to be quite interesting. And since I feel like I should go with the trends, I decided to get mine myself. I got myself a rose and I left it at the daycare, and then I headed my way to the Pokemon Tower and noticed that all the trainers in there were possessed. Yeah, that was spooky. Anyways, after getting all the way to the tower, I got myself the Pokeflute so I could wake up the Snorlax, and then I carried on down basically what is a cycling road. And while I was doing that, my Frog Fusion reached its final form and became the true ruler of the frog. And I gotta say, it looked really amazing. A while later, I got my way to Future City, and then I entered the Safari Zone, mainly just so I could get the Ancient Reserve. And I also decided to fuse Kabuto together with Honedge, since both of its evolved form has to do with Blade. This meant that I would be boxing Sandslash, but I felt like it started getting outclassed since I already have a strong ground type in Sharking, and I didn't think we're going to need more than one ground type. I went for the Water Steel one since the other one just looked like a regular Honedge, and when fused together they became Hondo. Then a while later, it was time for me to take on the next gym leader, Koga. And in this battle, Sharking really shined, taking out most of its Pokemon and doing a good chunk of damage in Shinnok. Eventually it came a bit too low, so I swapped it out to the Fearow, which was able to get it low, however it unfortunately fell to a takedown. Recoil caused Shinnok to fall as well, and after that battle, Sharking evolved into the incredible Sharking. After that, I got my way to Saffron City and immediately took on Team Rocket that I invaded Silco. And third, that product, Hondo evolved into a Doduo, and it just looked the same, except the blue bars are now more red. And a while later, Doduo evolved into a Dewtops, and giving it a really nice, good looking appearance. Having Kabuto's side turning into swords looks really cool. And a while later, I was challenged by my rival Blue again, right I was about to take on Giovanni. You don't have a very good timing, you know. Once again, he didn't turn out to be too much of a threat with my upgraded fusions, but then I was engaged with another battle against Giovanni, and Blue decided actually to join me on this one. I didn't see this coming. It was tough, but together with Blue, we were able to defeat him. And after that, I got myself a shiny stone, so I evolved Togedos into its fully evolved form, and giving it a mustache. That's nice. Then I also took on the Fighting Dojo Oh, and I thought I could choose one of the Hitmon, and I picked Hitmonchan, and I decided to fuse it together with Electabuzz, since it was a more high level, and I thought exchanging one Hitmon with another Hitmon would make sense. So after I fused them two together, they became Electroshan, and it looked really cool in my opinion at least. But after that, I ran into the most horrifying thing I have seen in any Pokemon media ever.
Clowns. Mr. Sir. Oh no! Nightmare! I don't like this, I don't like it. Oh, let's go! This stuff was horrifying!
The next time was mainly me just grinding out my team and throwing that Noseprout evolved into Nosekazam. Getting some kind of la movement with his hands. Looks good. But then it was finally time for me to take on the next gym leader, Sabrina. They took out the third Pokemon, but Togetos came in and we actually were able to get an Omni Boost. Nice. Gengar was difficult and we were not able to outspeed and finish it off with a crunch. Then Dewtops came in and we were able to take one Shadow Ball and we defeated it with a powerful Night Slash. Then she decided to be a little fun and using the two evolutions of Johto. I immediately tried to retaliate, but it didn't do too much. They did use a Future Sight, however I felt like we still had a couple of times before it hit. However, Dark Pulse did a lot and we were not able to outspeed, so they were not able to knock Dewtops out. Shocking was the only one left, but I knew I needed to revive something, so I revived Togetos so its Fairy typing will be useful against the Dark typing. But Togetos was at least able to land a crunch, which while they hit with Moonlight, it got the defense drop. And the more time we used Bite, the more defense drop we got. And we were eventually able to knock them out with a couple of Aqua Tail. However, we were forced to heal due to a Future Sight, but we were eventually able to take the evolution out, leaving only her Alabro, and giving that a freaking giant spiky spoon thing. With that one, I did decide to do it off my Dewtops. However, we were able to set up a couple of Sword Stands, which gave us enough power to take it out with just one Night Slash. After defeating Sabrina, I started the journey to Cinnabar Island, and then I had an idea. What if I used to get a Gyarados with Kingdra? Multiple people have said that Gyarados should not be a water flying type, but it should be a water dragon. But now, it can actually get the water dragon type it so definitely deserves. So I called myself Citra, and then I got my way to Cinnabar Island, where I did some back traveling to obtain a few things. One was a Gligar I could obtain free in-game trade in Future City, and a few together with Charizard, since Gliscor and Charizard are two of my favorite Pokemon. It looked weird for most time, but it would eventually become more cooler looking as quick as I evolved the Gligar part to Gliscor. For that I was required a Dusk Stone, but at the time I didn't know you can actually get there right away. I thought you needed some kind of special paths from Cinnabar, so I didn't go there, so I didn't get the new evolution yet. But I also did back trying to get myself a Magnet Stone, which I can then use on Nosekazam to evolve it into Probokazam, giving it a nice hat. But also the Dragon Scale, so you can evolve Cedar into Kingdra, and then fuse it together with Gyarados, and it became Gyarados. Also, I stopped by the daycare to pick up rolls that I left there. It had a roll to Curlia, so I decided to fuse it. So I fused together with Togekiss because I thought the God of War and Togekiss could look cool. I said that for the one that looks like God of War just had got wing and now fly like a superhero, and just because I thought it was cool. After a while of training, it was time for me to take on the next gym leader, Blaine, and his fire type. His first Pokemon was a Rapidash in Gloom Fusion, which had some problem with Solar Beam and Toxic. However, Gyarados was able to deal with it, but it got quite low. For Sharkdactyl, I swapped him into Dewtops, and I made over Sword Stance. However, they hit me with a Fire Blast, which would immediately one-shot us. I tried to use Gliscor, but it couldn't do much, so I used the full restore on Gyarados to both heal it and get rid of the Toxic. But for some reason, they also decided to heal. But then I went for a U-turn just to switch out, but they outspeed, so Gyarados didn't have to take a hit once he came in. And I immediately started to set up a couple of Dragon Dances to get some more power. Yes, but then they hit him with a hyper beam, but luckily it didn't do too much, so we were able to land an Aqua Tail taking out Charjactyl. His Magaton had the barrier through the water moves though, however Aqua Tail knocked it out right away, so that didn't matter. Then he tried to bring out his 9-9, but Aqua Tail knocked it out right away, so we were able to defeat him, but that was a bit more difficult than it should have been. After that, it began my journey to the Sevi Islands. Between this recording and the next one, there was a lot of team changes I did during that time. Electroshed evolved into a Hitmonvire. I bugged my Kabutops I used with some fusion, and I flew together Doublade and Gardevoir, mainly because I have been waiting to use an Aegis like Gardevoir fusion, simply because it looks like a warrior goddess. It looks amazing. And also, I got myself 2 new fusions, those being Umgrowth, a fusion between Metagross and Umbreon, and a Larvikiss, a combination of Togekiss and Larvesta, because I wanted to have Volcarona because I thought it would be good. But after all that, I could finally use some Duststone to evolve Glaceon into Glaceon, and my Gardevoir double fusion into AG-War. Anyways, after that I continued onward to Mount Ember, battled Team Rocket a few times, and eventually came across Giovanni fusing the legendary burst together to form Samokuna. Fun fact, Samokuna once actually appeared here in the manga. Yeah, that was kinda crazy. This fusion was very vicious, pretty much knocking my entire team out. However, with the little luck left, Glaceon was able to deliver the final blow, and we defeated the legendary triple fusion, but that was a scary one. Anyways, after that, I could go ahead and capture Legendary Birds. However, I felt like the fusion I had could probably do well already, so I didn't feel the need to go and capture them now. And not long later, it was time to take on Giovanni for the final time and getting my final gym badge. Luckily, he wasn't too much trouble, so we were able to take Giovanni out and got my final gym badge. Not long later, my rival Blue decided to challenge me once again. However, my entire team was able to get at least 1 KO on his team, which was quite nice. But why hasn't he evolved his starter yet? Like, we're about to go to the Elite Four. I'm pretty sure he should have been fully evolved by now. But anyway, while getting my way there, I ran into a trainer that had a Venusaur. I just thought it was funny because it's a little thing in the anime. Not long after that, after getting my team trained up, it was time to take on the Elite Four. First was Lorelei, however Hitmonvire and AG-War was able to take her out without too much problems. Next was Bruno, and I tried some Quiver dancing with Volcarkiss, however it didn't turn out that well and it knocked me out quickly. So I swapped to Umbros, which took out that Electivire Machamp fusion, and it took a large variety of my Pokemon, but I was eventually able to take him out. Next was Agatha, and Umbros was a beast and was actually able to take her out all on his own, so that was nice. Finally was Lance, but it wasn't too much problem. The only thing that was annoying was when I tried to use Dragon Dance on Gyarados, we got hit by Dragon Tail and it forced us out, which was really annoying. But for some reason, Volcarkiss was able to take out the Dragonite Togekiss fusion all on his own, which I was a bit surprised by. But other than that, it wasn't too much to mention. Finally was the final battle against Blue. He left his Ninjato and Umbros took it out. Next was a fusion between Magmora and Rhyperior, however Gyarados was able to take it out easily with an Aqua Tail. Next is Energy Starter, and I swapped to Caesar because I wanted to be found, but then I realized it was probably a bad thing, so I used U-turn to switch out into Gyarados again, which was able to take it out after a bit of healing on his side. Caesar came in again and was it, did a good chunk of damage to his Taurus Executor fusion, however we forced U-turn out again and swapped him on fire, which was able to take it out. Next was Starkazam, which I used Volcarkiss for, which was able to do good chunk damage with the Bug Buzz. But before we could finish it off, they swapped into Electivire Gyarados fusion, and Volcarkiss was able to take it out, leaving only his Starkazam. I swapped the Glaceon and finished it with a Flamethrower just because I liked the move, and we defeated the Pokemon League, and I became Pokemon Champion in Infinite Fusion. There were a few things that happened in the post-game, but for the most part, there were really not much to mention. I took on the Johto Gym Leader, caught a couple of legendaries, I ran to the top of Mount Silver, had that little battle with Gold, after being sent 3 years into the future, just thinking that's strange. Then taking on a triple fusion of the Creation Trio, and that was crazy. And then getting the Soul Fruit, getting the chance to go and catch the legendary Pokemon Arceus. And I just want to share this moment because it's fun.
Arceus! It actually worked! And that is just why you all should play Arceus Arceus.
I think I scientifically proven it at this point. But there you have it. That was my full playthrough for Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Overall, I thought this playthrough was quite alright. The game itself is really fun to play through, and seeing all these different kind of fusions are quite fun. To end this, I decided I'm gonna give you my top 5 fusions that I used during this playthrough. Number 5 was a Gyarados, my Gyarados Kingdom fusion. I thought it was nice to see Gyarados become a dragon type at long last, and I thought this fusion was good, and I like dragon stance sweeping sometimes. Number 4 goes to Hitmonlee. It was definitely one of my favorite mon I used, simply because it was really powerful and had a good design. In third place, we got Fearay, my Fearoprime fusion, which was a long-standing member for a long time and was really effective. Number 2 was Aegiward, my God of War Energislap fusion, just overall looking amazing and was really good sometimes. And number 1 is Clisethard, my Gliscor and Charizard fusion, being an amazing fusion of 2 of my favorite Pokemon and just looking fearsome. I love it a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you appreciate this video. By the way, if you have any channels you would like me to do or you would like to recommend, let me know in the comments below, or just video ideas in general. I appreciate all the support I can get during this time, and I thank you all so much for watching. But now I'll see you in probably around 2 weeks. Bye!